Deep beneath the surface, the final seal of the bunker was finally set. For decades, these cold halls remained silent, waiting for a signal. Every footstep now carries the weight of a world that is fast fading. Within this hidden command center, the end of history began to unfold. The man in charge had spent his entire life preparing for this moment. Shadows danced across his tired face as the overhead lights flickered. A single notification broke the silence, glowing with a cold blue hue. He saw the warning he had feared since the very start of his career. With a trembling hand, he reached out to confirm the impossible data. High above the clouds, a lone observer watched the stars for answers. The young man worked in isolation, surrounded by screens and static. Cold air filled the room as he struggled to process the new readings. Back in the dark, the director prepared to witness the coming storm. The transmission showed a distant planet, serene and unsuspecting. A dark shape emerged from the void, casting a shadow over the rings. It was not a moon, but a hollowed vessel forged from ancient stone. Blue light erupted from its core as engines roared to life in silence. The massive structure turned slowly, aiming toward the inner worlds. Its surface was a graveyard of metal plates and ancient impact scars. The trajectory was clear. A straight line drawn toward our own home. Smaller worlds were dwarfed as the giant drifted past their frozen orbits. Then, the swarm was released, thousands of pods spilling into space. I moved with a perfect, terrifying grace across the dark vacuum. Each metallic shell gleamed under the distant light of a dying sun. The invasion force accelerated, leaving the mothership far behind. A veteran leader could only watch as his worst nightmares came true. He stood up slowly, feeling the weight of the entire planet on him. His eyes drifted to the only thing that still mattered in this room. A simple photograph captured a time when the world was still bright. He touched the glass, a final goodbye to the life he once cherished. Duty called him back to the documents hidden beneath the paperwork. He unrolled a map. Red marks indicated the locations of an ancient, sleeping defense. One of those symbols sat directly beneath the floor where he stood. The realization of what lay below filled him with a sudden, new fear. He felt small and insignificant against the cold concrete of his cage. Far away, the astronomer screamed for a world that would never hear. He pointed at the screens as the first wave reached the gas giants. Bright sparks lit up the atmosphere, as the pods began their descent. Time itself seemed to break as the digital clocks began to fail him. The numbers spun backward, counting down to an era long forgotten. Bathed in red light, he waited for the ground to open beneath him. Dust fell from the ceiling like snow, signaling the end of the wait. He reached for the one device that could trigger the final protocol. The red phone sat on the desk, a vibrant scar against the gray stone. For a second, he hesitated, knowing there was no turning back now. He lifted the heavy receiver, feeling the cold plastic in his grip. He stood alone in the silence, the last guardian of a broken world. Emergency lights began to spin, painting the walls in crimson blood. With a steady breath, he prepared to give the order that ends it all.